Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, where we look at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hello and welcome back. I'm your hostess, Kristen, and I'm with my co-hosts, Amber and Cindy.
Hello.
Hello.
And just to remind you all, Amber is still afar, so she's calling in. So we got Phone a Friend on today. Speaking of TV shows, popular TV shows, we are actually diving in today on a topic that has actually been on our topics list for so long that it's funny because I think when we added it to the topics list, I was actually watching the show, but now I don't watch it.
I know, me too, because, yeah,
I actually kind of paused. I don't know if maybe COVID had a part to do with that or what, but The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and as my mom calls it, or I guess everybody calls it, the Bachelor Nation, of all of the people that are from the show and all the spinoff shows.
And all the people who watch the show and have fan parties and
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're having a Bachelorette, I guess you could say, pre-season watch party.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, because we're excited for the new season coming out.
Yeah, actually, we were just looking at, I'm anticipating the scandalous topics. So Bachelorette.
Why don't you explain that?
Yeah, Bachelorette season number, I think it's season number 30 is, Bachelorette season 22 will be airing soon, March of this year. It's supposed to come out, I believe, on March the 22nd.
Okay, so about a month from this year.
Yeah, about a month now. So we're excited. I was reading about it because it's been a while since I've watched The Bachelorette. I think the last season I watched was maybe JoJo, so I'm behind, okay?
You're way behind.
I'm way behind.
Like 10 years.
Yeah. Well, that's like 2000. Oh, wow. I am literally 10 years behind because that season was like 2016. Well, I'm over here like, it's only 2020. I'm only 4 years behind.
I was saying, I think the last one that I remember watching was Rachel Lindsay, and I think that was 2017, so it's almost 10 years.
Yeah.
But I think I've caught bits and pieces.
Sooner than y'all have.
Yeah.
I think I started watching like 2020, 21, something like that.
It's really weird because I didn't catch on to it right away, but it was something, one year, it came on after something else that I watched. It got moved to a time slot that was right after something I was already watching. And so it was just on while we were having dinner, and my husband and I were watching and commenting on it. And I got so drawn into this, can I say stupid drama? That
stupidity?
I couldn't quit watching. It was such a train wreck. And I think, I'm going to put this out here and y'all can argue with me if you will. I think the people watch it for the same reason that we watch soap operas like Days of Our Lives and General Hospital and stuff. It's for that drama because it's a reminder to us that our lives are not so shallow, petty, stupid, whatever, right? So anyway, I started watching it, and then I was an avid watcher. I actually TiVoed it so that I wouldn't miss an episode, and I watched it for years until they had the episode with the two girls. I can't remember who they were. I think they were the two finalists in one of the Bachelor.
Oh, Gabby and Rachel. I was thinking like, they were like two finalists. This is like 2022.
Not Rachel Lindsay though. It was
Rachel Risha.
Okay. Yeah, it was two girls, and they neither one of them were chosen, I think, or whatever, and so they brought them back on to be together for I think this is the only time it's happened where they had two bachelorettes, but the same number of bachelors, and they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of, and I don't remember the outcome of any of that or anything, but that was because I was not interested in that. Yeah, I did not. I did not like either of those two girls. Really. I thought the premise of the show was kind of dumb, and I just didn't watch it. And then I
Well,
came back and watched again some after that, but I really have not watched it much for various reasons. Not because I don't like the show. I do kind of like the show, but I don't have cable TV here, and we cut the cord with cable. And for a while there, I did not have a streaming service that carried ABC.
That's why I stopped watching it. I remember that now because the TV channels or where I was getting my TV dropped ABC.
Yes. Well, and we have they dropped the streamers dropped ABC, and I'm at a location where when the television switched over to all digital broadcasting, the over the air broadcast, the transmitter is so far away from my house that I can't get good reception on it here. So I couldn't even TiVo it and watch it, and it just became too much trouble to try to find a version online or to watch it after the fact. So I quit watching it altogether. So that's a long reason
Really
why
long,
I didn't.
no.
But it's a really long explanation about why I don't watch it anymore. But anyway, so now that I have Disney Plus, Hulu, whatever, I can watch it. I just never went back to it. So, but I think I'm very interested in going back to this new one because Kristen can explain what's up with this new one. Yeah.
So this new season, Taylor Frankie Paul is going to be the Bachelorette, and the part that makes her first of all unusual is she's not already from the Bachelor
She's
family.
not from Bachelor Nation. Yeah,
she's not from anywhere, right?
She's an outsider.
Well,
yeah.
she is from somewhere. She's actually already a reality TV personality from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I have seen one episode of that. I stopped watching it to watch something else, and then it's still on my to watch list. The first episode was like, wow, this is scandalous. It's basically uncovering like a scandal that happened with some soft swingers in Utah, and she was actually a TikTok personality, and so I'm sure that there's going to be some interesting
Hot
moments. Yeah, I know they're going to ask her to explain herself. You
Mhm.
know that she will justify or explain because
my question is
she's
she divorced?
a wife or something? Yeah, apparently the scandal caused a lot of like divorces and stuff
Okay,
too,
which is very
which
unusual.
Yeah,
in
exactly
culture,
makes
yes.
it the
Yeah,
scandal.
she is divorced, and yeah, no, it's not like in the Mormon culture to be divorced.
Yes, yes. So I'm very I'm curious what they're scandal. We all love scandal, right? So I'm curious about how they deal with that scandal and how she answers to those, because I'm sure some of those bachelors are going to have a lot of questions.
They
for
are
her.
going to have a lot of questions for
Like,
her to
yeah.
understand what her boundaries are and what her expectations
Well,
are.
and I wonder how many of them are going into this thinking, hey, you know what I'm talking about.
Or how
here.
many of them already know who she is because she's already
Right, because I know there have been times when they learned who the Bachelor or Bachelorette was
in advance,
and they were
yeah.
excited to meet that person. Yes.
Mhm.
So I'm curious about that too. And yeah, and like I said, I'm just trying to. I'd like to get back into to watching that because it's a good kind of fluff drama. Using that term lightly. There's a lot of drama in there to watch. To just kind of instead of doom scrolling or something.
Yeah. I don't know. Like my favorite, I think I do like watched The Bachelor and Bachelorette, or I haven't in the last couple of years. But my favorite has always been the spinoff shows.
I love the spin-off shows too because there's multiple bachelors and multiple bachelorettes and they're all competing
Yeah.
against each other
And it has the fan favorites.
yeah,
The
well,
ones that you
yes,
like that
yes.
wanted to win.
And some, and some that were drama, like I'm trying to think of that girl. Oh my goodness,
Oh
she
my God,
always
there's
cried.
so many,
The one that
so
cried
many
all the
drama.
time. She would cry and cry and cry, and she was always talking. And I felt so bad for her. I mean, she just
Ashley,
yes, and she
she went off and married the Jared guy. I think they're
yeah,
divorced now.
yeah, I think they are.
maybe.
But she was
but
in love with him from the day one, and he would
yeah,
just not give her the time of day. But I always felt sorry for
I
her
think
because
I think it was a ploy. It had to have been like a media
who
ploy or
knows?
something.
But they made fun of her because she was talking about emotional intelligence. Remember, because she was a counselor or a psychology major. I may be mixing up multiple people. I don't know. But I always felt bad because they were making fun of her for talking about emotional intelligence. And everybody's like, oh my God, what is she talking about? And they just made fun of her. But now the word emotional intelligence is a thing. She knew what she was talking about, whoever it was that said that. And so I'm just like, now that's a big deal. People talk about having emotional intelligence, which is kind of the equivalent of emotional maturity.
Yeah.
In that your
Yeah.
emotional intelligence reflects how much you are aware of your emotions. And how, because a lot of people don't really have a good awareness of their actual emotions because
Right.
you stuff them or you whatever. So I always felt sorry for her, but she was an easy crier, and so that's why she was a fan favorite, because everybody wanted to see her cry. And I thought that was kind of sad, but I really liked her. So but I loved
Well,
watching
she kind
her.
of took it and she went with
Oh
it.
yeah, I'm sure when she cried that first time and they made fun of her, she thought, you know what, this is my way to stay in this group. They'll, because a lot of this, if we look at this, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this often, the Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor Nation, whatever you want to call it, is not a dating club, right? It's a game show. We've talked about this. We actually had
We have mentioned this
we
on our
had an
game show
episode
episode.
about game shows, and I mentioned that I feel like it is a game show. And
Well, yeah, there's any show that there's a winner
if
is a
there's
game
winner,
show.
it's a game show, and some people come on there. In fact, I think a lot of people come on there
To win.
to play the game, to win. And yeah, maybe winning includes falling in love with someone who falls in love with you and you're together for the rest of your life, like some of the couples. But some of them are just there for the notoriety, because they want to be influencers. They want to be celebrities.
Nowadays, yeah, everybody's wanting to
Yeah.
be an influencer.
Well, and
Before,
it's a lot different than it was when it started too, because the people that they are choosing to be bachelors and bachelorettes often have their own notoriety to start with, so they're not.
well, it's like
just
the
ordinary-
music, the music shows now, like the ones that have gone on there have like a singing career or
Right.
whatever,
They're
like
not
especially for The Voice.
They're
yeah.
not just amateurs. They are people who are trying to break into the business in some way, and this is their vehicle for doing so. I really truly believe that in a lot of ways. And I think that probably applies to most of them. So there, I said it. But yeah, I just but I do love the Bachelor in Paradise, the Bachelor Pad, those kind of things, because you never know who's going to hook up with who, and it's it changes, and then a new person comes along, and that person is the hot potato, and the other one is yesterday's news. So yeah, I'm with you. I like those. I like those shows the best. But I think in order for those to work, you have to have the feeder, which is The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. So, and if people stop watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, then the satellite shows are not going to work anymore. So, I mean, they could. I mean, they could, because it could become more like Big Brother or something like that.
You just won't be as invested in the characters.
In the characters, right. So, I'm curious. I mean, we've talked about how much we watch it. How much of it do you think is real? And how much is just fake?
That's tough.
I want to say, well, I mean, it's like, it's a well-known fact that a lot of it, especially Bachelor in Paradise, is not real. Like, a lot of it is set up. There are rules. There are like set times, and this goes with any reality show, really. But
absolutely. And we talked about that on that show too.
And then, like, the producers are producing the show. They're writing it. They're getting reactions from people.
They edit things. They tell people to play. You know, like if Well, in each of the I'm going to call them characters. The participants, they have producers that work directly with them. So there's multiple producers on the show. And they have individual producers that work with specific participants. And, you know, maybe the producer for Ashley was the one who said, you know what, we got a lot of reaction, or we really like what you did with the crying thing, you know. You could play that up if you want, and that would be good TV, and then you'll get more air coverage, you know, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get each producer is trying to get the most screen time, you know, for their people, and to create a good, compelling TV show. So they're going to encourage them to do whatever it takes to do that, you know. So just like, I think before we were talking about the show, or before we were talking about it, before we started recording, Kristen was mentioning a girl who kept showing up on all the group dates, who wasn't invited to the group dates. And
I'm sure she was being encouraged.
That's what I think, because how else would she have gotten there in the first place? They can't just walk off that compound and go somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't have like cell phone access.
Yeah, they don't have cell phones.
Internet.
So they had to enlist the participation of the camera crew that's there with them that day, their producer that's there with them, whatever. And so you know that those people encourage that, because it makes good TV. So I know
I mentioned this before we started recording, but like, so, and not a lot of people know about this show. It's just something that I ran across. It's actually I forgot where it originally aired, but it turned into a Hulu show.
Okay.
And it aired in and the reason I knew about it is because I'm a big fan of the TV show Roswell that came out when Kristen and I were in high school.
Yeah.
So like, the main character is the main character on this show. So I always follow their careers and stuff like that. And so the show is called Unreal. And it was actually created by a former producer of The Bachelor.
Oh, okay.
And her name was Sarah Gertrude Shapiro. And she created this show, and a lot of the things that happen on this Unreal show are behind the scenes stories elevated, you know, into more of a fictional context from The Bachelor. And so the main character, let me see, the main character is a producer on this show called like Everlasting or something like that.
So it's like a parody or satirical.
Yeah, it's a parody.
Yes, I want to watch that.
Me too.
And so and it follows her and all of the things that she goes through to like get drama out of the Bachelor.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it is. It's they're trying to create the drama because the drama is what sells.
Yeah.
Totally, totally. Um, and 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 I think we mentioned this on our game show podcast episode. You know, most um of the what we call reality TV is actually at least in part scripted, um, if not entirely scripted. And I'll go back and explain that. Things like Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, what was the Ozzy Osbourne one? I don't remember. Um,
The Osbournes.
the Osbournes. Yeah, sorry, my brain just went. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, those kind of shows, they're not just sitting there recording them every day. What it is they say we're going to come and record on this day, this day, this day, whatever, and we want to do an episode where Ozzy does this. So they tell Ozzy what to do, or they tell the other family members what to do so they can get a reaction out of Ozzy. Or same thing with Gene Simmons. You know, they the one that jumps in my head right away was an episode where Gene Simmons was invited to go invest in a cattle breeding farm because he has lots of investments in lots of things. And what this farm does is they harvest bull semen and they sell it for artificial insemination. So that was the premise of this episode, was inviting him to this place where they harvest the bull semen, because this is
sensational TV. Wow.
right. And they encouraged him, or they made him do certain things to acquire the bull semen. Now, I will tell you right now that what they did is not how it's done. But that was sensational TV, because people were like, oh my God, will he do it? Will he do it? Will he do it? You know, and I'm not going to go into details because you can go watch the episode yourself.
It sounds very wrong.
It's very wrong, yes. But they did it. And, you know, did he really do it? I don't know. Probably not. They probably just made it look like he did. But that was the whole thing. The whole thing was entirely scripted. Entirely, because they knew it would make people watch. I would bet that the whole thing of him proposing to his wife Shannon and some of that thing was also at least in part scripted, because now, and I will say, I'm not saying that the entire thing is scripted. I'm not saying they told him do this, say this, say that, you know, like you're acting in
They strongly encourage things too.
They strongly encourage things. They set up scenarios and then follow it to see what happens. So that's that version of it. But there is another version of reality TV, which we also discussed on our game show episode. And I think I gave both of these examples on that one. We have a friend here in the Dallas area who was invited to be a participant on the reality show called Cheaters. And this person was scripted to pretend like she was cheating with someone and that they got caught. It was a totally set up, false relationship. And was the person she was supposedly cheating with her boyfriend?
Was her actual boyfriend.
Her actual boyfriend.
Because she was not about to kiss someone else on
right,
TV.
Right.
Yeah.
So the two of them were hired as actors to pretend like they were cheating on this other woman. And they made a whole series.
It was another dude, yeah.
Episode out. Oh, it was another dude. That's right. So they made a whole episode out of it. And it was entirely fictitious. So there's your reality TV in a nutshell. So, yeah, I mean, you know. So I think some of that, I think some of the people that are on The Bachelor and Bachelorette are what we call plants. They planted them there because they are either up and coming actors or wannabe actors, and they hire them just to stir the pot. Yeah.
Okay, so like think of it as writing a story, right? You want to, when you're casting a show like this, you want to have archetypes in your story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You want to have a hero, you want to have a villain, you want to have cliffhangers, you want to have all of like the things of a sweetheart, a mess, a crier like Ashley. Like you want to have like this whole like story scenario. So when these people are finding their contestants, they're looking for those tells on if, hey, this person would be my good villain.
Yeah. And sometimes I think they actually hire. Can you play a good villain? Do you think you could disrupt people?
Sure. Sure.
Can you act like you're gonna interrupt every conversation, or whatever? You'll get a lot of airtime. We'll pay you extra for it, or whatever. I don't even know how it all works, but you get more airtime. I really believe that that's what they work, and maybe your little Unreal show uncovers a little more of that than because I haven't seen that, but I know how TV works. I mean,
well, it's a very like I love the show. It's a great show.
Oh yeah.
Just like the lengths that a producer would go to get reality reaction.
Right. Well, and the idea is you can't watch it thinking this is reality. Yes, I do believe people can find their love connection or whatever on there, or they can find the beginnings of it. Let me put it that way, because I do believe people can fall in love at first sight and or first meeting or whatever. But I also know that the actual real connection doesn't happen on that show. They're not together that long. That real connection comes afterwards when you're spending time in the real world. And I think that is why so many of the relationships don't really last, because they think, ooh, we're in love. It's all happy. We're all good from now on. And they don't realize how much work there is in getting to know someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with. I mean, I was married for 35 years. And there are still things about my husband to this day that I do not know. There are things that I wish I had known. There are things he doesn't know about me or didn't know about me. And I mean, we spent 35 years of our lives trying, just getting to know each other. I think it's an ongoing process that happens over, all the time. It's always continually happening. And, the longer you're together, the deeper it grows. But I think a lot of these people go into this thinking, I'm going to meet the man of my life. And I think they go into all, even, Match.com relationships. They go into it thinking, I'm going to meet the love of my life and he's going to understand everything about me. And
that's all they talk about on the shows, like meeting the love of their life.
Right. And I don't think that, I do believe in the love of your life, but I also believe that you can have multiple loves of your life because you love them in different ways. But that doesn't happen. I don't believe it happens overnight. I believe that happens over time. And you can fall in love with them, yes, but that deep, deep, deep connection that they're the love of your life, that is what happens after you're with someone for a length of time. And I think some people think that those first little goosebumps of infatuation is love, and it's not. But so I do think there are people who go into it, thinking that, and sadly there are people who watch it who think, oh, that's what falling in love is like, and it's not. So I look at it as it's a fictional show. It is a fictional show. What would happen if you threw these people together? This is what might happen, right? But it's all fictionalized, and I don't think any of it is real. I think the real comes when the show is over and these people start to get to know each other, and they realize this guy is a jerk, and it was all a fake to win me over, and now he, you know, is not the guy for me or whatever. And that's, I think that's why a lot of those relationships don't last, because the real bachelor or the real bachelorette comes out after the cameras are turned off.
Yeah, and I mean, you put people in like these
Unrealistic
high impact dates.
Right.
Like,
right.
how can you not fall in love with someone that you just bungee jumped with? And
Right. You
and
have
went
that
on, you know, the most romantic
you-
skinny dipping dinner date.
Right. You
Yeah.
have this emotional connection with them, but that is not the same as love, I think. And so that's where I kind of
I
look
think
at
a
that.
lot of times it's confused for that. And I don't know that they're trying to like paint a story of this love, but the reality is like the original Bachelorette, she is still with
Right.
her husband.
But you know what? Here's the big difference between her and the ones that are now, and so many of the ones that have broken up. So she was already on The Bachelor, for one, so she kind of knew what was going on with stuff. But she was an ordinary person. She wasn't a celebrity. She wasn't a wannabe celebrity. She was just looking for love, right? He was an ordinary guy. He probably got volunteered or nominated by his sister or his mother or one of his good friends or something like that, because they're like, here's this cute single firefighter, and
Why isn't he married?
Why isn't he married? And he has the worst luck with girlfriends, you know? And so I really think that's why that worked. For one thing, they were just ordinary people, and they weren't trying to be celebrities or anything. And once that show was over and they were together, separate from that, they were out of the spotlight. They did not, I don't think they participated in Bachelor Nation. There was no Bachelor Nation back then. So they just kind of went off and did their thing. And then the other thing is they had children pretty soon after they got married, I believe. So they got married pretty soon after the show was over, and they started having children. And I think those are the ties that bind some of these couples together, you know, that you've made this commitment. They went ahead and got married, and they started having children. They showed that they had this commitment to what they were there for the right reasons. And I think that some of the ones who came later, they postponed getting married. They just wanted to live together for a while. They didn't have children. Some of them they were already celebrities or in the spotlight in some ways. Some of them, you know, wanted to be in the spotlight in some way. I'll give an example. Well, there's a lot of examples, but I just, I think there's a lot of them who were looking for something other than really love, and they weren't there for the right reasons to find it. And then once they started dating or whatever, they became public. They actually kind of went out and tried to be seen together in public. And so I think that's part of that problem as well. And I don't know. That's there's very few of the bachelors and bachelorettes that are still married. In fact, there's only one bachelor that's still married. Who was that? I don't remember. Do you remember who that? Oh, it was Jason and Molly. And if you remember, Molly was not his first choice, but immediately after he let her go, he regretted it, and
I
he
thought
realized
Sean was still married, or did they get a divorce?
Dawn.
Sean, what's his
Oh,
name? Not
Mendez.
Mendez.
Do you mean the one that's the brother of O'Connell?
No, Sean and Catherine. He is the one who is still married to his original final pick. So yes, you're right. You're correct. Jason.
Oh, the O'Connell one. Oh, they divorced like.
Yeah,
or
I thought
they
they
don't even
didn't
know if
get
they got married.
No, they
didn't get married. They were together and they were off, and they were together and they were off, and they were together and they were off. But yeah, Sean is the only original bachelor who is still married to his chosen bachelorette. Jason is, I think, the only other bachelor that's still married, and he and I think in both those cases, I think they both had children. I know that Jason already had a child from a previous marriage, and he and Molly started having children pretty soon afterwards. But yeah, she was not his first choice. He kind of went with the logical choice, I guess, which was Melissa. And then once he had let Molly go, he realized he made the wrong choice. And so he broke up with Melissa and got back together with Molly on after the final rose, if I'm not mistaken. And then they have been together ever since. And then of the bachelorettes, I believe Trista and Ryan are obviously still together. They have a couple of kids. So they've been married over 20 years now. Who was the other? Oh, JoJo. JoJo and wait a minute. Now, see, there's some Bachelor in Paradises that are married too. So I'm looking. I found my list here. So who was it? JoJo. Who was JoJo with? I don't remember. JoJo. JoJo, I think, is still married also. Now, as far as the Bachelor in Paradise, yeah, let's see. There have been some marrieds and got divorced also, but Bachelor in Paradise, Jade and Tanner are still married. They have 3 children again. See, I'm telling you, the ones that stayed together are the ones that had kids. Ashley and Jared are still married and they have kids. So there we go. See, I'm an Ashley fan favorite. She's my fan favorite. Who else? Rachel Lindsay did get married, but they divorced. Raven and Adam from The Bachelor in Paradise got married, and they have 2 kids. Dean and Kaylin married. They married in 2023. It does not say they have kids, but that's only 3 years ago, so less than 3 years ago. Let's see that they got married. Who else do we have here? And now I'm into Bachelor in Paradise 2021. Joe and Serena are married. Kenny and Mary are married. Becca and Thomas are married and have a child. Those are 3 couples from one season of The Bachelor in Paradise. And then Noah and Abigail from the 2022 Bachelor in Paradise Season 8 are also married. Zach and Katie from The Bachelor that was revived in 2023. That's when they finally brought 2023 back. They got married in 2025. Charity and Doten, I don't know, they're engaged and they're still together, but that's 2023. And then well, here's a sad one. From the Golden Bachelor, Jerry and Teresa got married, but they're divorced, and that was only 2024, so they didn't last very long. Joey and Kelsey are engaged. That's from The Next Bachelor. And Joan and Chalk are engaged. So, And there's some more recent couples. I don't want to give those away in case people still haven't watched those. But here's a quick list of who's together. Tristan and Ryan, Jason and Molly, Sean and Catherine, Jade and Tanner, Ashley and Jared, Raven and Adam, Dean and Kaylin, Joe and Serena, Kenny and Mary, Becca and Thomas, Noah and Abigail, Zach and Katie, Charity and Doughton, Joey and Kelsey, and Joan and Chalk. And there's another one. It was JoJo and... Do you remember who JoJo? Because I saw that earlier.
JoJo engaged to Jordan Rogers, and they're married.
They are married. So it didn't even show on this one. That one wasn't even on here. I don't know. My list was compiled by ChatGPT, so errors may occur. So yeah, JoJo is married also. Because I really liked not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron's the older brother. Jordan Rodgers.
Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Jordan Rogers. I really liked him when he was on with her. I was really glad she picked him. So yeah, out of I think they said there's like 90 couples in the franchise, and of those 90, that small little list that I just read you of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I guess there's 16 of them is all that's still married. So, and as I mentioned, the majority of them had kids. So, I really think that's a key factor in longevity of the relationships. It's harder to get a divorce when you have kids between you. It's not impossible, but it is harder.
How to seal the deal with your bachelor.
Yeah, really. Go get knocked up right away. A couple of times, I like I say, it's so. Well, I was just saying, I just think it's there are some things that affect that whether it works or not, but I don't think it's realistic to expect that any of them will succeed. It's just fun TV.
Right. I think that it also proves that those things aren't fate. Or maybe they are because those people weren't meant to be.
Well, yeah, that's true too. I don't know that I believe there is fate in choosing, your soulmate or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think you could really replicate that. Maybe it's fate for the OG Bachelorette.
Well,
who's
like
still
I said,
married, but you can't replicate that over and over and over again.
Right, because and that was a very different scenario because she was the first. She was, I can't remember, was she the runner up?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
She was either the runner up or she was the one who got picked.
Alex
and then
Michaels'
the first
show.
one.
Yeah.
Yes, and so she would have been the runner up, and so they picked her to come back. But she wasn't a celebrity other than having been on
the fan favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, she was one of the fan favorites. So they, and that was before there was a Bachelor Nation or they had any kind of following. I really think that's the part of it. That once all these bachelors and bachelorettes started hanging out with each other after the season was over, it changes the dynamic of everything. So they know that if it doesn't work out with the guy I picked, I'm part of Bachelor Nation now. I can go hook up with the other guy that didn't get picked from season 15 or whatever,
Yeah.
And so, there's more fish and we have more in common than, or whatever. So I think there's that little aspect of it too. So they are their own little club, their own little dating club or whatever, so
yeah.
I think there's that aspect to it also. So I don't know. It's different for the newer bachelors than it is for the older ones, the ones that have been around for a while.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure a lot of them have, dropped out of that Bachelor Nation group because they're so much older now, but it's still, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, we'll see what happens with the new Bachelorette. I'm actually kind of pumped to see it because it's been a while since I had that garbage TV other than my soap opera. And my husband absolutely hates the soap opera, so I know he's going to hate The Bachelorette. So I could totally just watch it, and like he'll go and watch something else, and it'll be like my time.
Right.
So I'm kind of excited about it. I'm gonna test the waters out and see how annoyed he gets with it. I mean, I might be able to just drive him nuts and put it on like the big TV and cue his eye rolls.
Okay, here's what you do. You put it on, and if he doesn't like it, you can say, well, I could go over to my mom's house and watch it if you'd rather I do that.
That's a threat.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll have to put up with it, or you can just come over here. Yeah.
So we'll have to have our Bachelorette watching party. You in, Amber? We gonna watch.
Of course,
Taylor?
yeah. I want to watch
We'll have
it.
to
Yes.
get together and discuss it. That's what I used to do when I watched it. My friend Stephanie and I would get together. That Lost.
Watch it once a week.
Watch it once a week, and then we'd get together and talk. And Dancing with the Stars, we did it with that one too. So, and we'd get together and talk about what what happened and who we believe and who we don't believe and all that. So, yeah, I love that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, we'll do it.
Cool.
All right. Well, what are we talking about next week besides The Bachelor?
So, next week I'm the hostess again, and so we are talking about friendship and what constitutes being a friend or a good friend, and we're kind of talking about mostly female relationships. So, I think we all have varying degrees of female relationships, and I want to talk about those and what we make of them. And so I think it's going to be interesting. We all do we've been doing Galentine's for several years, and so I'd like to have that friendship thing coming up in February every year, along with the romantic part, because we don't all have romantic partners, and sometimes our gal friends are our closest relationships other than our romantic partners. So I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for coming back week over week. And be sure to check us out next week. Also, in the meantime, check us out on modernmusings.net. Or you can head over to Facebook group. We've got MMC chat also up for discussion. We may have to put a poll up or something.
Oh, yeah. Which of them do you watch?
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we'll catch you next time then.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.